Us now, former Treasury Secretary for Public Affairs Monica Crowley. Monica has a PhD in national security and foreign policy. Monica, this story, people got scared about it, but Trump's got a pretty strong position on Russia, right? Doesn't Russia have major inflation it has to deal with?
Oh, yeah, no, the Russian economy has really faltered over the last several years, and it's not in a particularly strong position, Liz. You're exactly right. But look, Joe Biden, on his way out the door, is allowing now in a reversal of policy, allowing U.S. long-range missiles to be used by the Ukrainians to strike deep in the heart of Russia. Those strikes have already begun as of today, and Russian troops are in the direct line of fire. What Vladimir Putin has said over the last several weeks, when this became a possibility, was that he was not going to absorb these strikes lying down, that there would be appropriate levels of retaliation, and he actually intimated perhaps the use of some sort of tactical nuclear weapons. We don't know if he's going to resort to that. But what he also said was that if this were to take place, as it is unfolding right now, that means increased escalation on the part of NATO.
Got it. And I just want to point out the SpaceX rocket coming back down to Earth. I mean, this is technological wizardry and genius we've never seen before Musk took the stage. This is really fascinating, interesting stuff, locking him into that platform in the middle of the ocean off the coast of Texas. President Trump in attendance there. Really interesting stuff happening down there in Texas. So getting back to Russia, could Trump boost sanctions even more on Russia's oil trade, on Russia's central bank, to better negotiate an economic end to what's going on with Ukraine? I mean, we know the sanctions haven't worked. They've been there since 2008, since Russia invaded Georgia. I mean, Putin is called the Teflon czar. So how can he get Russia to back down and get peace in between Ukraine and Russia?
Well, I don't want to get in front of President Trump on this because he's made it clear that the moment he has inaugurated peace negotiations between Russia and
Monica,
Zelensky.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Sorry, somebody was in my ear. Monica, did you get to finish your point?
No, but that's okay.
Keep going, Monica. Finish your point. Go ahead.
No problem. I was just going to say that President Trump has made clear that as soon as he's inaugurated, peace negotiations between Moscow and Kiev will begin, and he hasn't tipped his hand as to how those negotiations will be structured. What he has said, he's only interested in seeing the killing stopped. When you're talking about economic tools, Liz, yes, President Trump in his first term used sanctions very effectively, but as you point out, the Russians have been able to largely evade those sanctions and emerge stronger on the other side, so much so that they were able to invade Ukraine. And that's largely because they've been able to sell their oil, even under sanction, to countries like China that has bought Russian oil hand over fist.
Got it.
So President Trump certainly is going to have a challenge in front of him. Joe Biden has just made it a lot more challenging by allowing these long-range missiles to be used. And I think so much of this is political, Liz, where Biden does want to leave President Trump with a bigger mess, but also that he wants to increase Vladimir Zelensky's leverage going into a Trump administration.
Okay, Monica Crowley, thank you so much.